Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And my name is Parkwisi Asari. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia confident of breaking the AIDS after filing his NPP flag bearer nominations.
We'll go to Parliament where 2 lawsuits impede progress of anti-LGBTQ bill.
Also ahead in the bulletin, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative calls for thorough and independent investigations into Botiano killings, expressing dissatisfaction on recurring use of lethal force by police in dealing with suspects.
In business news, E-Crime Bureau urges banks to invest in training their staff to be able to authenticate documents following the Bank of Ghana's reports that over 33 million cedis was lost in banking fraud last year.
And elsewhere on the international front, Putin says Western sanctions have failed to isolate Russia. We've got details of all these stories, plus all you have in mind coming up in the next 60 minutes. We're streaming live on Facebook, also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on Twitter.
We begin with the NPP presidential primary, where it promises to be a fierce contest. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has become the second NPP flag-bearer aspirant to file his nomination. Speaking officially for the first time on his bid, Dr. Bawumia says he has worked hard to lead the NPP break the 8 in the 2024 general elections.
It continues to be an absolute festival here. The headquarters of the governing New Patriotic Party at Asylum Down, as the Vice President became the second individual to file his nomination, clearly stating his intent to want to lead the governing New Patriotic Party in their much acclaimed quest to break the 8.
The atmosphere was charged as party supporters from all over the country massed up at the Asylum Down headquarters of the governing party. Streets leading to the party's offices were festooned with the red, blue and white colors of the Elephant Party. If Alan showed pump, this, according to supporters, was the pinnacle of state power vehemently behind a man believed by many top echelons of the party as the only one who makes breaking the 8 a reality. That show of support left the entire process stagnant when Dr. Bawumia attempted entering. Flanked by MPs and leading members of the party, Dr. Bawumia said he is the man to lead the NPP break the 8.
Together with you, I want to see a Ghana where we leverage technology, data and systems for inclusive economic growth. I want to make Ghana the digital hub of Africa. I want us to bridge the digital divide and apply digital technology and artificial intelligence for the transformation of healthcare, education, and public service delivery, amongst others. And that is why I am offering myself in all humility to contest in the primaries of this phenomenal party, the great New Patriotic Party, to become our flag bearer and presidential candidate for 2024. And inshallah, the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Many are those, however, who have questioned the long service of the Vice President. Barred for DMB, he has worked his way up to his current position through service.
Over the last 22 years, I have worked hard for the New Patriotic Party and for Ghana. From during the President Kufuor era as Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, through our years in opposition and now in government. During this period, I have sacrificed for the party. I have defended the party in good times and in challenging times. I have never wavered or slacked, never. And I have built a solid track record of achievement and performance as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana.
For the team and supporters, Dr. Bawumia remains the best choice.
In global world, we are moving to digital world. So with the mind and the idea of this man, I think we'll move towards where we want to be.
Digitalization of the health facility has made it so easy. First, you come to the hospital, we are not going to look for a folder. Wherever your folder is hidden, we are going to look for it. But today, because of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's intervention, we can simply, just by using a card, go through OPD, consultation, lab, pharmacy with ease.
If we want Ghana to be like the UK, we should support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to bring digitization to Ghana and open it for everyone
Let's still stay with the New Patriotic Party because the former Northern Regional Chairman, Bugri Nabu, says Northerners will no longer play second fiddle in the party. Speaking exclusively to TV3, he says electing any other candidate than Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will be disastrous for the ruling party.
The MPP, it belongs to both the North and the South. And every time you see that, we'll come and vote for it, and I can, and make sure he win. But not nice. We are most of the time we are always being vice. This time, it's supposed to be a northerner. The accounts should agree with us and ensure, for unity purpose, to make sure Dr. Bawumia is elected. We voted as the flag bearer, and from flag bearership to presidency. I am not saying that the other 9 are not good. No, don't misquote me. They are equally very good, and I know all of them. But for the meantime, for the unity of the party, to let everybody know that the party is not Akan only, it also extends to the North. Because our fathers and grandfathers, we came to join the party from them. So now it is MPP, not to rule MPP now. If you look at other parties, CPP, Hilal Liman has got the chance to be president on CPP or PNC. Now, if you look at Rawlings party, that's NDC, John Mahama has been given the chance. And why not MPP to sacrifice themselves and give it to a Northerner this time? That's what I have seen. And therefore, everybody, every Ghanaian will know that yes, MPP is both the North and the South. Not only, I hear some people, some MPP people are saying that we only deserve vice. That person is deceiving himself. And I don't think he's really an MPP. If you are MPP, you talk for unity. You not be talking about tribalism, insulting people in tribalism. So me, I think that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the only person who can survive this party and let them go ahead to win 2024 to break the 8.
Right, so we're going to do some analysis on the back of Bugri Nabu's comment and, of course, all that's been happening within the camp of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Kwesi Amakye Boateng is a senior lecturer at the Department of Political Science and History at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, and good to have you on News 360. Bugri Nabu is one of the leading members of the New Patriotic Party, and, of course, we've heard him made a very strong case for Northerners. He says it is time for a Northerner within the New Patriotic Party to become the flag bearer and also become the president of the Republic of Ghana. So clearly you can see the ethnic card being played there. You know, there's a lot of arguments about the fact that the NPP is not only an Akan party. And I'm sure that with time, the religious card would also be played. Now, when you look at what the New Patriotic Party is doing, do you think that they are being strategic in this choice of Dr. Bawumia?
Let me say thanks for this opportunity and to also say good evening to your viewers and listeners. Actually, can we say that the whole MPP that is moving in this direction, or it is coming from an individual who is expressing his opinion on development in the party? I wouldn't want to ascribe it to the whole party, so I'm not going to argue that it's the MPP that is, if you like, moving in that direction. It's coming from an individual, and I don't think he's speaking for, any other person in the party other than himself, and maybe if he has spoken to people from his, extraction, some might support that argument. But then he himself might be taken aback to appreciate the fact that if you take a look at the people who have presented themselves to become the flag bearer of the party currently, several of them have, strong support even from the very region that Dr. Bawumia himself comes from. He'll be surprised to find this out. So the whole thing is that countries have moved beyond this sort of ethnic card or regional card. The whole thing is individuals emerge as leaders of their party. If we quickly take, some retrospective effect of leaders that have emerged in Ghanaian politics from the time of independence to date, then, this will become an interesting thing. The number of people that contested and eventually the winners that came out. Did anyone at any material moment in time come out as a result of, people placing premium on where he or she comes from? My answer is no. So Ghanaian politics itself has not encouraged this sort of regionalism or ethnic considerations.
But Dr. Machi, are we not only playing the ostrich? When you consider that politics is about numbers, where do you get the numbers from? And is it not a fact that, for instance, people vote based on various reasons? People vote because somebody comes from his region, because somebody supports his religion, so people vote for various reasons. And so you cannot necessarily discount the fact that people, will be championing for Dr. Bawumia because he comes from the north and because he's a Muslim.
If you are counting, if you are looking at numbers, and we look at the demographics in Ghana, the numbers come from the middle belt, the numbers come from the southern belt. The numbers are not from the northern sectors of this country. So if we are to really count numbers, then Dr. Bawumia will simply have no advantage over any other candidate in the NPP currently. The numbers come from the middle belt, and we know this for a fact. Ghanaians, generally, when we say their accounts, people contested. But if we zero into individual ethnic groups, then you appreciate where the numbers come from. Yes, people vote for one of their own, and I also argue that political mobilization in our parts of the world, unfolds through ethnicity. I make that argument. But whichever way you look at it, Ghana generally has not been making, placing premium specifically on regional factors when it comes to selecting leaders. Nkrumah, for example, doesn't come from, a place where you have majority of Ghanaians coming from. No, he doesn't. He won every election that he contested in. Dr. Buzia doesn't necessarily come from a highly dense area, President Liman, and presidents that have come and gone. Maybe Jay Rawlings comes from, the Volta region. They have got quite, the number there is quite dense.
Right, I've got a final question for you, but if you could be very brief with me, how strong is the issue of religion in all this? I'm afraid we've lost Dr. Machi there. You're still watching News 360. This is a major news bulletin for the day.
Let's now go to Parliament, where the passage of the anti-LGBTQ bill has suffered a setback as the House is in a fix as to continuing the debate ahead of the passage. Months after the plenary had taken delivery of the report of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, 2 lawsuits are impeding the progress. A report by Komla Kuluche.
It remains one important bill the current Parliament led by the Speaker is bent on passing before the end of this meeting. The Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs having finished its work and submitting its report to the plenary, the Business Committee is yet to program it. Well, it appears there's more to Parliament's inability to make a certain progress on the passage of the bill.
I just want to draw the attention of the Business Committee to a private member's bill that has already had its report from committee late, the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill, that they should table that for business of the House. We can begin to sit on it and do the second reading pending other government business.
2 court actions, a High Court and a Supreme Court process against it. So you're right that we may have to do the consultation with the Speaker to determine whether or not, in view of the constitutional interpretation being sought, we could proceed and all that. So, Honourable Member who inquired, that is what we have as the latest development. And like I assured you, Mr. Speaker said, we would engage to determine so that we do not render any outcome of the decision odious or find ourselves in a clash with the judiciary.
The bill on proper sexual human rights, is that right? In respect of that bill, there's a court action pending which Mr. Speaker has been made a party. Mr. Speaker brought the court action to the attention of leaders. And so I think in considering program or not programming it, you may wish to discuss with the Speaker and what steps you may take before you program them.
The proceedings for Friday, June 16, lasted for just an hour, despite the Finance Minister appearing in the House to answer to questions from MPs. The House could not take him as less than 40 MPs from both sides of the House were around for seating on Friday. Komla Kuluche, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
And away from Parliament House, the criminal case against deposed Assin North MP James Gyakye Quayson is set to continue from June 20 and is to be heard on day-to-day basis after a plea by his lawyers to adjourn till after the by-election was denied by an Accra High Court. Lord Iduasare sat through proceedings.
After cross-examining the prosecution's first witness, Counsel for Gyakye Quayson, led by Justin Teriwaja, had prayed the courts to adjourn the proceedings till after the by-election to give his client a fair chance to contest since he was carrying out what he described as a national assignment. But objecting to the plea by Gyakye Quayson's lawyer, Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame noted that nobody had given Gyakye Quayson a national assignment and prayed the courts to expedite the trial since the charges leveled against him could get him convicted and jailed. Godfred Yeboah-Dame therefore prayed the courts to stick to the time schedules and hear the case on a day-to-day basis. Lawyer Justin Terewaja agreed to the trial being conducted on day-to-day basis, but prayed that it be done only after the by-election. After listening to arguments from both parties, presiding judge Mary Mami Ekwe-Yanzu dismissed the plea for adjournment by Gyakye Quayson's lawyers and fixed the hearing from June 20 for trial to proceed on a day-to-day basis. James Gyakye Quayson has been charged with deceit of a public officer, forgery of a passport, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury, and false declaration. Lord Edwasare, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, the ban on the movement of tricycle taxis within the central business district of Kumasi has been deferred. Operators have resisted the move intended to decongest restricted areas.
The movement of tricycle taxis within the CBD was scheduled to be banned effective today, June 16. But it's obvious that the ban could not take effect as most of the operators are currently within the town operating. City authorities say they have to do broader consultation with stakeholders to come out with a new date.
Because the engagement has been a bit slow, we want to do it more, and then I'm sure we'll get a new date as to when it will take effect soon, and we'll let them know about it. It is not our intention that we want to deprive anybody of their work or something, but there must be law and order, and there must be some sanity in the CBD.
Though a relief for them, the operators insist any attempt to restrict their movement within the CBD will be disastrous.
If there are some rules that they will give it to us, fine, we may follow it. But to say we shouldn't come to town, it will cost us a lot.
You
can arrest me for not having a driver's license, but to tell me not to come to town will be a problem.
The ban, according to city authorities, is to curb indiscipline among these operators and also decongest areas like Edum, Kejetia, and Dr. Mensah. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Ashanti region, a coalition of NGOs, CSOs and pre-tertiary teacher unions have urged government to abandon its plan to buy laptops for senior high schools and instead provide all textbooks for basic schools. The coalition, in addition, wants an emergency infrastructure expansion plan for the basic sector, which is facing overcrowding and a 25% achievement gap.
The Free Compulsory Universal Basic Education Policy was introduced in 2005 with the aim of ensuring that all citizens of basic school going age enroll and complete basic school with relevant learning outcomes without financial barriers. 18 years into the implementation, there still exists significant access and quality defects in the delivery of basic education. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, 1 million children aged 4 to 18 are not in school, representing about 10% of the age cohort. This is primarily due to the lack of public basic schools in underserved communities.
At least 2,000 new basic schools are required to absorb the out-of-school children into formal basic schools. However, given the current rate of constructing new schools, this may take the next 10 years to accomplish. This, among others, accounts for the high number of out-of-school children.
The lack of adequate investment in basic infrastructure suggests that government is shifting responsibility of providing free compulsory universal basic education to the private sector, which is beyond the financial reach of the people.
We don't care about the basic schools. Let's look at the results of this national standardized test we did last year. We have children who cannot read. Up to age 8, 9, 10, 12, they cannot read simple sentences. So what are we doing to our foundation?
While government is concerned with the needs of senior high schools, about 25% of primary schools do not have junior high schools across the country. A cohort survival analysis of EduWatch using the Ministry of Education's EMIS data indicates that only 63% of pupils who enrolled in kindergarten in the 2011-2012 year completed junior high school by 2022.
With all the 18 issues we have identified and mentioned today, if we miss out on any of them, come 2030, Ghana will be scored low because we have not achieved the Sustainable Development Goal 4.
The coalition urges government to rethink its approach to education to ensure that there is a strong basic foundation by 2030 in line with Sustainable Development's Goal 4.
Or the strategy of funding basic education based on tokenism or charity must end. The apartheid policy where basic education is only giving something after secondary education is fed must end. If we don't end it, we will import people from other countries to come and enjoy secondary education one day here in Ghana.
The Japanese government and the UNDP have launched a project to prevent radical extremism. We'll bring you that story shortly. A reminder, you're still watching News 360 live from our news hub here at Desawe in Kanda, Accra. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to keep them coming in. Let's do some other stories now. And the Africa Office of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative recommends that in the absence of an IPCC, SHRAJ should conduct investigations into the shooting incident in Botiano, and the officers found culpable must be prosecuted. While they recognize the importance of maintaining law and order, they advised it is essential that the police operate within the boundaries of the law and respect the human rights of all individuals.
The Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative Africa Office has condemned the shooting of 5 suspected land guards by the Ghana Police Service at Botiano in the Greater Accra region. The statement expressed the satisfaction on the recurring use of lethal force by the police in dealing with suspects and called for a thorough and independent investigation to bring those responsible to justice. The shooting of the suspected land guards, regardless of their alleged involvement in the criminal activities, is a grave violation of the principle of the assumption of innocence until proven guilty and their right to life. It is worthy to note that subsequent reports from chiefs and locals have contradicted the police's account of the said incident. These contradictory statements are consistent with previous incidents of mismatched police and community accounts of the same incidents, the statement said. The Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative recommends that the Ministry of Interior and the Attorney General's Office must work with CSOs to finalize the draft legal framework into the necessary approval and direction of a draft bill on the establishment of Independent Police Complaints Commission. Also, the government of Ghana must resource the police service to be provided with the requisite protective equipment and body cameras which will enable them carry out their duties effectively. Godwin Asediba, TV3, Accra.
You're still watching News 360 live from the News Hub here at Desawe in Kanda. We have business news coming up shortly. Just stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You dey sleep? That's Madina.
Sentuntum say wunna ma de jume ma wonsa.
Efrema be magani oba.
Ma wonsa. Sentuntum ma boa sumuda ma wonsa.
Thou shalt not slap. Having black mosquito quail. Common totem. Na empum visie bebre. Na emma wo mowa. Na emma wo sham. Na sham.
Having insecticide spray. Eye sham. Ne sansu kumwa wotu any omo mu hia nyina. Na having naphthalene balls. Any having perfumed insect repellent.
Tokwe, empom wisie bebre, ense wo hwene so. Sham kama. Ebubu tetumo size no. Botuma don't shit you know.
And a heaven spray, heaven naphthalene balls. Ne perfumed insect repellent no. Ekumwa omutu. Na wa wonam from nasenja shanwechi.
Heaven dear, bakope. Heaven dear. Bakope. Heaven dear. Bakope. Heaven dear. Bakope.
FDA aji edrede krato yatum.
Crown your style. New Ohema collection from GTP. Now available at any of our accredited dealers nationwide or any Woodin shop. GTP. Life styled.
The sweet scent of rose in the morning brings me so much joy. Inspired by damask rose and infused with 100% natural rose oil. Introducing new Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder. It's like bringing a garden with you everywhere with this wonderful perfume. Take a garden with you everywhere you go with Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder.
Every child is so unique. You like no other. Outstanding in every way. It's me like no other. So anytime you walk and play, you like no other. You are special like Indomie. It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. You like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This effort is FDA approved.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
Good evening and welcome to the very latest in the world of business. Now to our very first story, and cybersecurity firm eCrime is urging banks to invest in training their staff to be able to authenticate documents in order to reduce the incidence of fraud. This comes on the back of a report by the Bank of Ghana which indicated that forgery and manipulation of documents emerged as the prominent type of fraud, recording the highest loss of 33 million cedis. My colleague Michael Ogbodu has the rest of the story.
According to the Bank of Ghana report, another fraud category, which was also on the increase, is fraudulent withdrawal. It involved money fraudulently withdrawn from customers' accounts, resulting in losses totaling 7 million Ghana cedis. Most of the cases recorded in this type of fraud had the involvement of staff of banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions. Check frauds also accounted for a loss value of about 5 million Ghana cedis. The most common modus operandi in check fraud was cloned checks. What then could be the way forward for banks in forestalling a reoccurrence.
It's very important that banks step up their education. When you analyze the report, you realize that there is a lot of shift to manual or document forgery. So it means that banks are to step up their capacity building programs to be able to educate their staff on how to authenticate documents and identify forgery within the ecosystem. Secondly, I will also look at the technical controls. So putting in the maker checker, also more like the dual controls, settings of the access controls, and a whole lot of those technical bits to be able to man the system.
And now to our special Friday feature. Now, if you belong to the working class, have you ever thought of how you will survive after you retire or unable to work due to unforeseen circumstances? If yes, do you contribute to SSNIT, or are you amongst the many who want to depend on their offsprings for survival in their old age? My colleague Menu Afo has delved into this matter and has come through with the following report.
Imagine the devastation of someone who thought he was making contributions towards his pensions, but ended up finding out he had nothing.
When I stopped the job, I wanted to continue contribution. So when I went to the SSNIT company, they told me that the process is not genuine process. But I have been going up and down, up and down. I walk, tired.
To say nothing of the helplessness of knowing that you have nothing to fall onto in your old age when you're probably sick and need as much help as you can get. Despite all the risk involved in living one's old age without pension, there still are ignorant people.
Some of the people are saying that if they retire and the money that they're supposed to get, they don't get it. So that one cannot encourage me to do it.
I know that maybe it's only those who work under the government.
Research shows that globally, about 68% of people who are retirement age receive monthly pensions. In Africa, it's just 23%. And when you further narrow it to Ghana, just 11% of these people receive monthly pensions.
Currently, SSNIT has about 1.8 million active contributors, most of whom are from the formal sector, with just 2% representation from the informal sector.
The focus now is to drive into the self-employed space, because that is where majority of the workers are. So we are taking the drive to their doorsteps.
With the aforementioned concerns by workers in the informal sector, can the goal of roping in more people be achieved?
Talking about construction workers, market women, looking at transport, everybody is facing some kind of risk. So if you get an accident and you are unable to engage in any economic activity, regardless of your age, SSNIT is going to pay you. So I feel invalidity pension in particular is very, very good. They would have to deepen education about the benefit provisions of the scheme. And they would have to undertake both public and policy reforms to make the scheme attractive for people to come on board.
So ideas have been shared and plans are being executed. But the big question is, how long will it take for Ghana to catch up with the rest of the world, from the current 11% to over 60%, so that poverty can be alleviated amongst the aged? Menu Afo reporting for 3 Business in Accra.
Well, that's all for the very latest in the world of business. For more business news, you can log on to our website. It's www.3news.com.
Africa.
Mama, will I ever be a soccer champion for Ghana?
Well, you've got to be like a geisha ball. Stay strong and go so far. Never give up till you reach your goal.
Okay, Mama, I'll be strong and go so far, lasting long like this geisha ball.
Be strong and last long
like geisha.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Ankasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft but not weak. Strong but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua me hot tummy. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soki? Echimu esa pepa. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say your pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect.
Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302-200-390 or 059-692-0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Gentleman Cosmetic Range.
Time now for the latest in the world of sports news with Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Kelvin, what's your prediction for Sunday's match?
Well, yes, we should win.
Okay.
And I think there is no negotiation from the team. It's a must. They must win to qualify.
All right, give us the details.
Well, the team has already arrived in Antananarivo, the Madagascar capital, and Ghana will look to secure a ticket for the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations finals when they take on Madagascar at the Mahasinan Municipal Stadium on Sunday. The Black Stars are currently leading the pack in Group A with 8 points, whilst Madagascar are languishing at the base of the table. Here is a preview to the game on Sunday.
In the last round of qualifiers, Ghana picked up a dramatic win over Angola at home after Antoine Semenyo scored deep in extra time before an Osman Bukari goal in Luanda salvaged the points for the Black Stars. Chris Hughton will be without key players such as Iñaki Williams, Alexander Jiku, Mohamed Salisu and Gideon Mensah, who all miss out due to injury. The 64-year-old will still have the complement of a 24-man squad who have trained since Monday.
You know, they know what they're here for. They know what the challenge is. They know that at the end of this challenge is AFCON 2024. This is the goal. So that's the starting position. My responsibility is just to reaffirm that with them.
When the two sides met a year ago, Ghana ran away 3-0 victors in Kumasi, but it could be a different Black Stars who turn up in Antananarivo. For starters, the technical team has been augmented with Houghton replacing Otuado as head coach. The starting 11 is expected to also change, with the likes of Felix Afanajan, Babaraman and Fatao Isaaku failing to make the squad this time round.
Most cases it makes life a little bit more difficult for the coach because as the head coach I have to pick a team. And that can be part and parcel of it. It can be for what I already know, or it can be from something that I see in the training that makes me think a little bit different.
The Berea, on the other hand, have been struggling in the qualifiers, with the team picking up only 1 point whilst conceding 9 goals in 4 games. Ghana head into the game as favourites, and a win will take them one step closer to ending a 41-year trophy drought.
Well, kickoff is at 2 p.m. Ghana time, and later that day, there will be a trophy up for grabs here on the local scene. Dreams FC will go head-to-head against King Faisal in the MTN FA Cup final at the Dr. Kwame Che Sports Complex in Abrankese. The two coaches have spoken ahead of the game.
To me, it's a big achievement, even reaching the finals. It's a big achievement for the club and for myself. Well, that is my wish and that is my objective. Now that with the cup, I have to win it. And then, I don't know whether it is by design or by fate, or I don't know. Anytime I come close to cups, I normally win the cups.
Escaping relegation, winning a trophy, King Faisal will see it very, very big in the season. The first thing is that escaping relegation becomes very big for the club. And winning a trophy, I think it will be huge. And then people who are saying Ignatius has not won anything, now will say Ignatius have won something.
Well, that game will be live at 5 p.m. in Abrankese. And now, moving on to golf, Vodafone Ghana just put together a tournament in honor of the Asante-Hene Otumfuo Sato to the second. The tournament started on Wednesday. Here's more report in this from my colleague, Ralph Sarkodie.
The Vodafone 66th Asante-Hene Open Golf Championship began at the Royal Golf Club in Kumasi on 14th June 2023. The 4-day championship that attracted over 300 golfers across Africa is being held to honor the Asante-Hene Otumfuo Sato II. The Asante-Hene thrilled the gathering as he teed off with a well-taken shot. Head of Corporate Affairs for MultiChoice Ghana, Ni Ahmad Dagadu, has been speaking to TV3.
We've been partners for the last couple of years, but this year is even more exciting for us because it's part of also our 30th year of operations in Ghana as MultiChoice. And through our products DSTV, GoTV and Showmax, we're extremely happy to be part of the Otumfuo Golf Open this year.
Tawa Bolarin, who is the Director of Enterprise Business for Vodafone Ghana, also spoke to TV3.
This is one of our most important properties. This is when we get the opportunity to connect with the people of Ashanti, and we make it an overall program.
Chairman of the Royal Golf Club, Kwesi Ata-Entry, stressed the importance of supporting the cause for golf development in the country.
It's open. It's very interesting. When you are out there, you think it's some slow game, but when you are here and you start swinging and the techniques, and you need to be coached. When you see them playing, you think it's just something, but there's so much in it.
The championship ends on Saturday at the golf park in Kumasi.
There will be more on this in our subsequent bulletins. That will be all for sports. There's more sports news on 3news.com and 3sportsGH across all the socials. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Entertainment news and others follow after this break.
What makes a gentleman?
It's how the need to protect the things that matter pushes him to persevere. It's how he immerses himself in thoughtfulness. It's how trust is his shield. You can smell his integrity from a mile away. Introducing the Gentleman's Cosmetic Range. Be one of us. Be a gentleman. Ye are Brantier.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yang kwani stew dodoa ope.
Tasty Tom dear. It will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into writing and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA.
Sorry for the interruption, but due to the acidic content of the atmospheric weather condition in the economy, I have decided metal afemuntin carbohydrate namunshanenso for wache metal 1 Ghana cedi for jollof rice 1 cedi 20 pesos for gobe 80 pesos for kenke tamai and the cow 1 cedi 50 pesos.
You know what, just get me water.
For sachet water 30 pesos. For bottled water 50 pesos. Oh, Moka has a Vodafone cash. I'm the mama free. And for mama free. Metal.
Transfer charges. Entie bida. Switch to Vodafone Cash today and enjoy 0 charges whenever you send money to all networks. Yes, sending money is free on Vodafone Cash. Only e-levy applies. Dial *110# to send money today. Vodafone.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water and powered by 3 Entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the Entertainment News segment. My name is Anita Ikufu, and the Perfect Match Extra housemates were tasked this week to put their creativity to test and come up with outfits for the Thursday live show. At the end of the show, Grace and Bebelino were awarded the couple with the best costumes.
Tasked to put their creativity to test, the Perfect Match Extra housemates designed different outfits for their Thursday live show presentation and runway. From traditional outfits in Nigeria to cultural costumes in the Ashanti region, the contestants gave it their best shot. Even with the limited resources and experience, they still managed to come up with pieces that impressed the judges.
They tried. Again, limited resources, needle and thread, hand stitching, there's a lot of work. And to actually bring a certain creativity to life that way is hard. You know, sometimes maybe you can have a crazy idea, but because of needle and thread, you couldn't have done it. So, you know, they've done a good job ultimately.
You could tell from the design that we've seen. Yeah, trust me, they did well. They did well. Overall, there's a few woes in there. if I could probably cast my mind, the head wrap, twisted head wrap it looks like something that could probably pass for anywhere.
Yes.
After an hour of catwalking and explaining the inspiration behind their outfits, judges Abrantia the gentleman and Elikem Kumoji the tailor awarded Brownie and Sasha as the contestants with the best catwalk. Best male design went to Bebelino, best female design to Lovelyn, and the overall best couple was awarded to Grace and Bebelino.
We're not just looking at the clothes, we're looking at the totality of everything that went on here, from the teamwork as in the couple, the creativity, the design itself, the inspiration behind the outfit that you probably designed, the general appeal, then individual costume. Then in all, since it's a couple thing, the synergy have to work. And
we both actually had high scores from this couple, and the winner is Grace and Bebelino.
From one reality show to another, winner of GMB 2021, Safwa Samoa says participating in the reality show has shaped and transformed her into a high-value woman. The GMB audition train will make a stop at a Micklin Hotel in Kumasi on Saturday, June 17. But ahead of that, Queen Safwa has urged young ladies to seize the opportunity to audition and also begin their own transformational journey.
Because if I look back and compare it to who I have become now, I realize there's something I needed it so much, but I did not know. Because the transformation has been so significant, and everybody around me sees it. Even myself, when I look into the mirror right now, I see that is a completely different person.
Tomorrow is Kumasi. You've been through the fire, you've been through the drill, finally came out as the queen. If there are 3 things, or if there's more, that you would want to tell the ladies coming for auditions tomorrow in Kumasi, what would they be? Those 3 things be?
I would like to start this by quoting a very favorite person, Melinda Gates, who said that a woman with a voice is a strong woman. But the search in finding that voice can be remarkably difficult. So you know yourself that you have that potential, that capabilities, but how to even, in the first place, exhibit it for people to see and buy into it is most of the times a challenge. I am presenting to you a lifetime transformational, decision that when you make, you will never regret. Because this is a platform where it gives you that chance. Whilst you are learning, you are also teaching someone.
On that beautiful note, we bring an end to the entertainment news segment. My name is Anita Ikuya-Ekufu. And if you're in Kumasi, make your way to the Micklin Hotel tomorrow at 8 a.m. to audition for GMB 2023. Have a good evening.
President Vladimir Putin says sanctions on Russia have failed to isolate it and instead led to an expansion in its trade with the markets of the future. He told the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum the neo-colonial international system has ceased to exist. Putin told the gathering that Russia has already moved tactical nuclear weapons to its ally Belarus, which neighbors Ukraine. African leaders eyeing Ukraine on a peace mission where they met President Volodymyr Zelensky. Ukraine's foreign minister says an air raid at the start of their visit shows Russian President Vladimir Putin wants more war.
Well, that's it for the very latest in news. My name is Pakusi Asare. You can log on to our website www.3news.com.
I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy your weekend.